navigating your 20s brings a whirlwind of changes, both seen and unseen. While much of this decade is marked by exploration, growth, and newfound independence, it's also a time when your body is evolving in subtle ways, including your vaginal health. Understanding what's happening and why empowers you to make informed choices, embrace your wellness, and confidently step into womanhood. During your 20s, your body is in its reproductive prime. Hormones like estrogen and progesterone are at their most robust levels, shaping not only your menstrual cycles but also the environment of your vagina. This hormonal activity creates a landscape that's dynamic, resilient, and at times unpredictable. The vagina is a self-cleaning, delicately balanced ecosystem. One of the most important changes happening in your 20s is the maturation of your vaginal microbiome, the community of bacteria and other microorganisms that help keep your vagina healthy. The main player here is lactobacilli, a type of good bacteria that produces lactic acid. Lactic acid keeps the vaginal environment slightly acidic, typically with a pH between 3.8 and 4.5. This acidity acts as a natural defense against infections, making it harder for harmful bacteria and yeast to thrive. Estrogen, the hormone that surges during your 20s, plays a pivotal role in maintaining this balance. It helps the vaginal walls thicken and encourages the production of glycogen, a type of sugar stored in the vaginal lining. Lactobacilli feed on this glycogen, converting it to lactic acid, which helps maintain that protective acidic environment. When your estrogen levels are steady, your vagina is at its healthiest and most resilient. But life in your 20s is rarely steady. New relationships, sexual activity, changes in birth control, stress, and lifestyle habits all influence vaginal health. Sexual activity, for instance, introduces new bacteria into the vaginal environment. While your body is generally equipped to handle this, it can sometimes lead to temporary imbalances, resulting in common issues like yeast infections or bacterial vaginosis. These are not uncommon, and in most cases, are easily treatable. The type of contraception you choose can also make a difference. Hormonal birth control, like pills, patches, or rings, can alter your natural estrogen and progesterone levels. For many, these changes help regulate menstrual cycles, reduce PMS symptoms, and even clear up acne. But they can also cause side effects such as vaginal dryness or, less commonly, increase the risk of yeast infections. Non-hormonal methods, like condoms or copper IUDs, don't have these hormonal effects, but condoms can sometimes cause irritation for those with latex sensitivities. Stress is another factor that's hard to avoid in your 20s. Whether you're juggling school, work, relationships, or a mix of all three, chronic stress can throw your hormones out of sync. Elevated stress hormones like cortisol can weaken your immune system, making you more susceptible to infections, including those that affect the vaginal area. Even your hygiene habits come into play. While it might be tempting to use scented soaps, douches, or special feminine washes, these can disrupt your vaginal pH and kill off the good bacteria your body needs. The best approach is often the simplest. Let your vagina clean itself using only mild, unscented soap and water for the external genital area. One aspect of vaginal health that's particularly important in your 20s is sexual health. As you explore your sexuality, understanding the importance of protection is crucial. Condoms not only prevent unwanted pregnancies, but are also the only form of birth control that protects against sexually transmitted infections, STIs. STIs like chlamydia, gonorrhea, and human papillomavirus, HPV, are most common in people under 30. Many of these infections can be asymptomatic, meaning you may not know you have one unless you get tested. Left untreated, some STIs can cause long-term issues, including fertility problems. Routine gynecological care becomes increasingly important in your 20s. Most experts recommend starting Pap smears at age 21, which screen for abnormal cervical cells that could indicate HPV or cervical cancer. Regular checkups also provide an opportunity to discuss any concerns, from irregular periods to unusual discharge or discomfort. Speaking of discharge, many young women worry about what's normal. Vaginal discharge is a healthy sign that your body is doing its job. The amount, color, and consistency can vary throughout your cycle. Clear and stretchy around ovulation, thicker and white before your period. Changes in discharge, such as a strong odor, green or yellow color, or an itchy sensation, may signal an infection and should prompt a visit to your healthcare provider. Another common experience in your 20s is yeast infections. These occur when there's an overgrowth of candida, a type of fungus that naturally lives in the vagina. While not dangerous, yeast infections can cause itching, burning, and thick, white discharge. They're often triggered by antibiotics, which can kill protective bacteria, tight clothing, or high-sugar diets. Fortunately, they're usually easy to treat with over-the-counter or prescription antifungal medications. Bacterial vaginosis, BV, is another condition you might encounter. BV happens when there's an imbalance in the vaginal bacteria, leading to an overgrowth of certain types. It's not an STI, but it's more common among sexually active women. Symptoms include a thin, grayish discharge with a fishy odor. Like yeast infections, BV is treatable, but it's important to see a healthcare provider for the right diagnosis and treatment. Urinary tract infections, UTIs, are also frequent in this age group, especially among sexually active women. The female urethra is short and close to the vagina and anus, making it easier for bacteria to enter the urinary tract. Symptoms include a burning sensation when urinating, frequent urges to pee, and lower abdominal pain. Drinking plenty of water, urinating after sex, and practicing good hygiene can help prevent UTIs. Your 20s are also a time when you might be considering starting a family, or at least thinking about your future fertility. Vaginal health plays a key role in conception. Chronic infections, untreated STIs, or hormonal imbalances can affect your ability to get pregnant later on. Maintaining regular gynecological visits ensures that any potential issues are caught early. Lifestyle choices have a profound impact on your vaginal health. Diets rich in fruits, vegetables, and probiotics, like those found in yogurt or fermented foods, can help support a healthy balance of vaginal bacteria. On the other hand, high-sugar diets can feed harmful yeast and make infections more likely. Staying hydrated, getting regular exercise, and avoiding tobacco and excessive alcohol also contribute to overall reproductive health. Sometimes, emotional and psychological factors are overlooked when talking about vaginal health. Your 20s may bring new relationships, new experiences, and sometimes new anxieties. Body image, sexual confidence, and open communication with partners all play a role in your overall wellness. Remember, it's normal to have questions, concerns, and even insecurities. Finding a trusted healthcare provider and building a support system can make all the difference. As you move through your 20s, your vaginal health is shaped by a combination of biology, lifestyle, and choices. The more you understand your body, the better equipped you are to protect it. Listen to your body's signals. If something feels off, don't hesitate to seek guidance. Prioritize regular checkups, practice safe sex, and embrace healthy habits. Your body is your lifelong companion, and taking care of it now lays the foundation for decades of wellness to come. Above all, remember that every body is unique. What's normal for one person might not be for another. Pay attention to your own rhythms, cycles, and sensations. Trust yourself, seek information, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Your 20s are a time to learn, grow, and celebrate your health, including the parts of you that don't always get discussed openly. By taking proactive steps today, you're investing in a future that's healthy, vibrant, and empowered.